slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. Get your lick back. If a nigga owe you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your dish splat. Stop letting this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX. J-Way. I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless. I'm gone. Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Into the trends. See a lead, be the band.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Corner to Copa. I am here to give you a preview of the first spring training game of the year. We have finally made it. It's been a long awaited time to get to this point. Obviously, we are coming off a playoff year and we're trying to build on that success. And I'm just going to give you a couple groups and players to look forward to going into spring training. Obviously, you're going to see a lot of guys that will be a part of the 40-man roster and a part of the opening day roster, and a lot of guys that are campaigning to showcase themselves and, possibly for other teams, possibly for the Tigers. But yeah, we're going to start off with the infield defense. We are going into the year with a new second baseman in Gleyber Torres, a new first baseman in Colt Keith moving over from second base. And there's a lot of questions. Gleyber Torres has historically been a below average second baseman. He was a player that refused to move over to third when Jazz Chisholm was traded to the New York Yankees, and now he is here in Detroit. And we want to see how they want to see how they look. We're going into the year where shortstop is our most constant, and it's the position that we have the best idea of how it's going to look. Javi Baez is coming off surgery. Hopefully he can get back to his 2024 form or 2023 form where he was, I think he was in the 90 percentile as far as outs above average, but his defense fell off a cliff last year. And the speculation was that it might have been due to the back injuries he was having. Trey Sweeney was traded. Well, we're going to get to Trey Sweeney a little bit, but as far as his defense is concerned, he ended up being a better defensive shortstop than we expected him to be. But he was the everyday shortstop down the stretch when Javi Baez was hurt, and he did an exceptional job at that position. And as far as third base, big question mark. A lot of different guys, a couple of different guys that we're going to talk about later on. But third base, it's going to be by committee. We got guys like Vierling playing third. We got Young, who's coming off of wrist surgery. We got some young guys as well. Some guys that we know we can depend on defensively, like Ibanez and McKinstry as well. So third base is going to be a collection of a lot of different players. If you're watching the visual, you see Kenta Maeda. He is the opening spring training day starter. He's a guy that was signed to a 2-year deal, a pretty sizable deal. He was supposed to come in and be a veteran innings eater. He survived the whole first year. He moved from starter to long reliever. He's from starter to pretty much not pitching at all unless it was in garbage innings to, some long relief as well. But Scott Harris made it apparent that he's going to get every opportunity to win a start. And with Alex Cobb being injured to start the year, he's certainly in the talks, and some people have picked him to be the number 5 starter going into the year, but he's having a good camp so far. He's got his fastball up to 92 miles per hour, which is much faster than it was last year, and having some fun. We saw him standing next to Skubal and showing him how to get that splitter grip together. Skubal doesn't throw a splitter, but if anybody's going to do it, I guess Kenta Maeda might be the guy. So he is the opening day starter. Next, we have Hyu Lee. Hyu Lee is a player that He was an international signee by the Philadelphia Phillies. He was traded along with a couple other guys for Lorenzen at the break in 2023, and he has made his way through the minors, the minors, the Detroit Tigers minor league system pretty well. He's a guy that's mostly played second base and third base. He's got a lot of looks at third base this upcoming year, and he'll probably start the year in AAA. But he has been he's definitely been named the spring training darling early on this year. He's looked pretty good. And like I said, he's getting a lot of looks at third base. And some say that he's looked a little bit more comfortable than Jace Young, in fact, at third base. He has also been comped to Placido Polanco for his ability to hit with contact to all fields, hard contact to all fields. He was in the Futures game this past summer, and the only thing that stopped him last year was some injuries. I think he got hit by a couple pitches, and that slowed down his progression in his season last year. But overall, had a good season. Like I said, he's gonna get some looks this year at some point, and don't be surprised if he plays some strong third base out of camp and hits the ball well. There's an outside shot that he might be on the opening day roster as a third base candidate. I think that he's definitely going to be a Zach McKinstry replacement eventually, but or possibly Andy Ibanez. They kind of have a similar build as well, but with Andy Ibanez being 31 years old and possibly having some trade, possibly having some trade value, or may fall out of fortune as the season goes along. Hao-Yu Lee will be waiting in the wings. Next, we got Gleyber Torres. We kind of talked about him already. He is the one right-handed power hitter upgrade that we made in free agency. This was a guy that pushed Colt Keith off of second base, and ultimately pushed Torkelson off of first as a result of that. So he's a guy that I definitely want to see what he can do at the plate and in the field. Because his performance, he's on a 1-year deal, so he's on a prove-it deal. He's trying to come in here and earn a big contract, probably not from the Tigers, but from somebody else. So he should be very motivated to come in and play well, and I'm here for it. Next, we got Trey Sweeney. Trey Sweeney was traded for Jack Flaherty along with Thayron Lorenzo. He is likely going to be a platoon option at shortstop alongside Javi Baez, but he's going to be battling for his position. Javi Baez appears to be healthy and ready to play opening day, so he's not necessarily going to be the opening day shortstop. Like I said, he played some pretty good defense down the stretch and in the playoffs, and he showed some potential, definitely showed some power potential. When he made contact, he definitely hit it with some authority, but he was susceptible to the strikeout. I like his left hand, I like his left-handed bat to play off of Javi Baez, who will likely get the day off against righties. But I don't think that I don't think that he's for certain to get an opening day roster spot out of camp. He's gonna have to work for it, because he may benefit from getting more at bats in AAA. So we'll have to see, but definitely some potential. Definitely a sweet left-handed swing. He hit a couple bombs this year. Last but not least, Jace Young. He came up in August last year at third base, and Gio Urshela was DFA'd to make room for him. He struggled to drive the ball. He had only had a couple extra base hits, no home runs. He showed some good plate discipline, but he struck out a lot, and he struggled defensively as well. With Alex Bregman not being signed, that opened up his opportunities to get as many looks as he needs in spring, and he could possibly be the opening day the opening day third baseman, but he's going to have to prove that he can play his position. He's having a pretty good camp thus far, hitting wise. They said he's been driving the ball, without much effort, which is something that we've seen from him as he's climbed through the ranks. And when he played at Texas Tech, he definitely said that his wrist was bothering him. He felt a pinching sensation in his wrist after every swing, and he pretty much just thugged it out until the offseason, where he was able to get orthoscopic surgery. But he said it felt totally different 2 weeks post-op. So I'm excited to see what he can do. He had a nice battle with Jackson Jobe, which he lost, but you like to see those battles. It's going to be a competitive spring training. A lot of guys vying for their positions. We're definitely going to highlight some more players as we move through spring training, because there's a couple more guys that will be competing for positions. But I just wanted to give you guys a preview of this game one. We got Kenta Maeda taking the bump, and just a little teaser, we got Casey Mize going on Sunday as well. So we'll have a nice battle for that fifth starting position. And I believe the hockey game is about to be back on, so I got to get to that. But please tune in to Bleacher to Speakers on YouTube and Corner to Copa on all audio aggregators. Me and Coach will definitely have a show for you next week once we have a couple spring training games under our belt. It's your boy Foss. Shout him out.